Number one question I get asked is, what's my favorite recommendation for Napa wineries? So today I'm going to share that with you. Now my first question for you is, who are you going with and what are you hoping to achieve out of this tasting? Are you going with a group of novices and you simply want a good time and good experience? Or are you hoping to see some good view and just take in that relaxing vibe of the wine country? Are you looking to discover a new underrated winery? Or do you need to impress your guests or client with the biggest name Napa has to offer? My lists are going to be organized by what are you looking to get out of the visit. So here we go. We're going to start with, hey, I'm just a novice and I want a simple, beginner-friendly wineries. So if this is you, here are my 3 suggestions. Number 1 is Domaine Chandon, especially for the new wine drinker. A whole day of heavy Cabernet Sauvignon to really set in that palate fatigue. Domaine Chandon offers sparkling wines to help bring some variety into the sea of super high tannin, massive Cabernet. The winery is centrally located, easy to get to, and has a beautiful mushroom, well, made out of stone mushroom garden and modern glass wine tasting room. They don't really require a reservation too for a party smaller than 10 people. Basic tasting starts at about $20 and goes up to $55 per person for a hosted tasting. My second recommendation will be Inglenook. It's formerly called Francis Coppola. It is a winery and a museum. The historic winery that started in 1879 was purchased by Francis Coppola in 1975, and he spent the last 40 years reuniting the original vineyards and restoring the chateau. It was reopened in 1997 to the public, and by 2011, in honor of this estate and its historical significance, they restored the name to Inglenook back to the winery. For their basic heritage tasting, the reservation is not required, but all of their other more formal tasting, you must make a reservation in advance. It's $45 for their heritage tasting and up to $125 per person for their library tasting and tours. My last recommendation will be Stags Leap Cellar, not to be confused with Stags Leap Winery. Stags Leap Cellar made its name by when a bottle of their 1973 SLV's Cabernet Sauvignon won the now famous 1976 The Judgment of Paris tasting. Besides the legendary wine, the winery also offers a tour, beautiful scenery, and a whole array of different tasting from novice to experts alike. Reservation is required for most of their tasting, but you can walk in for their estate collection tasting flight if you have less than 5 people in your party. Now, they are $45 for the estate collection tasting flight, up to $175 for the lunch and wine pairing experience, so a really good selection for you. Now, moving on to the next group. These are for the people who is looking for a spectacular view, and we're going to start with none other than the famous castle winery, Castello di Amorosa. I almost feel like I don't need to, mention this winery, as many people already know about it, and the winery does such a great job going through marketing, and the word of mouth is a must-go for most people despite its location, which is way up in St. Helena. Takes a little longer to get there if you're coming from the Bay Area. The entire winery is modeled after an Italian-style castle. In fact, every piece of stone used to build the castle was imported from Italy. It's quite a sight to see. You can spend quite a bit of time discovering and taking photos while sipping on wines and feel like you're transported to Italy at this winery. Now, they don't require reservation for a party of smaller than 14 people. Yeah, it is a big castle, I know. Their basic tasting starts at about $30 and goes up to $95+ per person for their loyal food and wine tour. Please know that they also charge a $20 admission fee for kids 2 to 20 years old, and they will be offered non-alcoholic grape juice. So it's kind of a cool place to bring your whole family along if you have little ones with you. The next up for amazing view is Sterling Vineyards. Now talk about one of the best view out of all Napa Valley. Sterling Vineyard has a unique aerial trim that takes their guests to the top of the mountain for a spectacular view of the valley. The trim ride is included in the price of any of their tasting, and if you're visiting with kids, they get to ride it for free, so pretty good deal. Reservations not required for their basic tasting, but I always recommend getting one anyways. The basic tasting and tour starts at $35 per person and goes up to $75 for their Platinum Experience, which is a 1-hour food and wine pairing tour. Finally, we're going to talk about Cade Winery. It is tucked away from the busy main road and located on the top of Howell Mountain. Cade Winery is perfect for those who want to relax and be away from the touristy stuff. You can sit in a comfortable patio sofa and just take in the view of the valley below. The building itself is clean, modern, and beautiful, and the wines are solid and worth collecting. It will take you some extra time to get up there, but the view is absolutely worth it. Their tasting and tours are by appointments only, and it starts at about $80 per person. Now, I hope this recommendation will give you a good start to planning your next Napa trip. Be sure to check out part 2 of this video to see my recommendation if you're looking for winery with a history that also tastes amazing, and also wineries I would recommend if you are hoping to impress your biggest guests or clients. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, please go and subscribe to my mailing list at ngsum.com for more videos just like this. And while you're there, also check out my exclusive wine deals. Thank you for watching. Until next time.